Shalom Bamidbar, just a few days before the Yom Tov of Shavuos. Very exciting times, exciting Parsha, exciting time of the year, Yom Tov. And the Nesivos Shalom speaks a lot about the fact that Kabbalah HaTorah, which Emir Hashem we're going to be zeicha to once again in a couple of days, Kabbalah HaTorah was not just a one-time thing that happened a few thousand years ago. Kabbalah HaTorah is something that renews itself each and every year at this time. This is a theme that the Nesivos Shalom speaks about throughout the Sefer Nesivos Shalom. Once again, we'll repeat it, that the Torah and things that happen to Klal Yisrael, they're not history lessons. They're not part of history. They're things that are alive. They have nitzchias. They're with us throughout our lives and throughout every generation. And Reb Baruch Nidmejbesh, Zechusei Yagan Aleinu, brought down in the Nesivos Shalom, he says a very interesting lashon. We have a very chashuv guest here, Mamash Chassan here. Well, very fortunate night. But he says that the Shavuos is a Yom Hadin for our Ruchnius for the year. We think of Yom Hadin in terms of Rosh Hashanah, right? Zaman Matan Torah Seinu. When it comes to Shavuos, and this is a very, I don't want to say a scary thought, but definitely a very important thought, that when it comes time for Shavuos, we have to understand that this is our Yom Hadin, how much and what we're going to succeed in Torah and Ruchnius for the year. And this is each and every year it's that way. And the Sefer Ber Mayim Chaim speaks at length, basically in this inyan, but not about Shavuos. The Sefer Ber Mayim Chaim speaks at length about this in Parshas Nitzavim. And he says that the Shabbos before each Yom Tov, and this is very good to know, Mir Hashem, right? Tomorrow night, we're going to come to a Shabbos before Yom Tov. The Shabbos is before Yom Tov is when the light of the special light of Yom Tov comes down, and it begins the Shabbos before the Yom Tov. As we know, we've mentioned many times over the years, Shabbos HaGadol, we know on Shabbos HaGadol, the Hashpois of Pesach, the Or of Pesach, the light of Pesach begins, it comes down on Shabbos HaGadol. On Shabbos Shuvah, we know, we've spoken about this too, on Shabbos Shuvah, the light, the hashpois, the influences, the skulois, all those things of Yom Kippurim, they come to this world, they come here, and we're able to benefit from them and take from them on Shabbos Shuvah, the Shabbos before Yom HaKippurim. And what he mentions there in Parshas Nitzavim is that the Yom Hadin of Rosh Hashanah, that Parshas Nitzavim we know is always the time of Rosh Hashanah. The Yom Hadin of Rosh Hashanah begins on the Shabbos before Rosh Hashanah. Whatever that means, and however we understand what's going on in Shamayim by the Yom Hadin, we only understand what we understand. But these tzaddikim can tell us that the Yom Hadin, and whatever it is, begins, it starts the Shabbos before Rosh Hashanah. So Nesivos Shalom tells us that the same applies to our Yom Tov that we're going to have in a few days. The same applies to Chag HaShavuos. That the light of the Yom Tov of Shavuos, the light of Kabbalah HaTorah, begins on the Shabbos before Shavuos, and that is this Shabbos. Coming up tomorrow night, you're going to start to feel it, and if you try to be in touch with yourself and try to feel it and want to feel it, maybe you'll actually feel something. the Shabbos before Shavuos, tomorrow night, you're going to start feeling the oil of Kabbalah HaTorah. Chazal tell us in a number of places that according to everyone, as we know, Kabbalah HaTorah was supposed to be one day, Moshe Rabbeinu added on a day. So Chazal tell us that according to everyone, we received the Torah on Shabbos. Which day of the month it is up for a little bit discussion. But according to everyone, the Kulei Alma, the Shabbos Torah Nitna, the Torah was given on Shabbos. And it's very interesting when you think about it, how that really connects to us, because you have to know that our Shavuos, our Yontiv of Shavuos, Bizman Hazeh, cannot come out on Shabbos. I'm not speaking about in Chutz La'aretz. In Chutz La'aretz, sometimes the second day of Yontiv, the second day of Shavuos will be on Shabbos, but the first day of Shavuos can never come out on Shabbos. The way our calendar is set, it can't be that way. So everyone holds the Torah was given on Shabbos, the Shabbos Nitna Torah. So what's it negaya to us? Shavuos can't come out on a Shabbos the way we have the calendar set. So Nesivos Shalom says a beautiful new pshat in what this means, that according to everyone, the Torah was given on Shabbos, and how that's negaya to us today. It says in Nesivos Shalom that when we're saying today that according to everyone the Torah was given on Shabbos, it refers to the Shabbos, as we were saying before, the Shabbos before Shavuos, the Shabbos before Kabbalah HaTorah. No matter when in the week Shabbos actually, no matter when in the week Shavuos actually falls out, the Shabbos before is when we begin receiving the Torah. So according to everyone, even in future generations, when Shavuos will not be on Shabbos, according to everyone, the Torah was given on Shabbos. That's when we begin our Kabbalah HaTorah. You know, Hashem actually wanted to give the Torah on Friday. How do we know that? Because we say that Moshe Rabbeinu added on a day on his own, so it got pushed off to Shabbos. What does that mean? It means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to give the Torah on Friday. It says in Nesivos Shalom, you know why Hashem wanted to give the Torah on Friday? Hashem wanted to give the Torah on Friday so that you'll have a whole week after the light that the Shabbos before begins. You're going to have a whole week that you could prepare and you could gain from the light of Shavuos, the light of Kabbalah HaTorah already from Matan Torah, already from the beginning of the week, from the week before. So it's really something for us to think about as we come in to this Shabbos, Parshas Bamidbar, the Shabbos before Shavuos. Every single one of us should want to grow. We should be understanding and thinking to ourselves what we could gain from this Shabbos. Everybody wants to grow in some way in Torah. If it's the Yom Adin of Kabbalah HaTorah, we're not saying that it's a Yom Adin that you should be nervous or depressed. That's not the way of Avodas Hashem over here. We're discussing the Yom Adin of Kabbalah HaTorah because we all want to take whatever light we can, whatever help Hashem is going to give us for everybody to grow this year, and starting from this week, some way in Torah over the next year, whether it's making sure that we learn Torah every day on a steady and consistent basis, or also, if you want to add, that we don't interrupt our learning. When we're learning, we don't interrupt for silly things. Whatever it is you're learning, if you have a 5-minute Seder, a 10-minute Seder for Musar, Kitta Shulchan Aruch, make it to 5 and 10 minutes. Don't turn around, don't speak to people, don't answer your phone call, whatever it is. Hashem wants to see us focused and dedicated for whatever time that you're going to learn. That could be something that we could be makabel to do better over the next year. So every one of us could also think about adding another limud, even if it's a small limud. Of course, it's great if it's a big limud, But everybody, whatever you're learning already, you can add. You can add a daf yomi, a daf in Talmud Bavli. You can add a daf in Talmud Yerushalmi, halacha yomis to learn the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, mishnayos yomis, 2 mishnayos a day. You wouldn't believe how fast it accumulates and how much a person, if you add it slowly in your life, how it becomes part of your life. Shnai mikra v'chatargum, halacha, beferish halacha and Shulchan Aruch, something we could gain, we could try to take on for ourselves. So everybody wants to grow. So we want to get all the help that we can. We want to tap in to that light this week that's going to help us. The hashpah and the siyata d'shmaya is in the air for the next few days. It starts this Shabbos, and it's actually a very short week this week until Shavuos. I always look whenever Shavuos comes out like this, and it's not going to, Mashiach's going to come, maybe things will change in the days, but Shavuos coming out on a Sunday night, it's the next time this happens is 20 years away. But I remember a number of times it happening, it's like a 4-day Yom Tov. We start with Shabbos, Sunday feels like Chol Moed, then we go right into the last 2 days of Yom Tov on Monday and Tuesday. But the hashpah's in the air over the next few days, and that really could help us a lot. So we have to start thinking about it, but not just thinking. We have to think and we have to do. We have to get started. That the Yom Adin for Torah is here, and we want to try to get as much as we can. The pasuk in Tehillim, how do we know we want to grab? See, Shalom brings a pasuk in Tehillim. Pasuk in Tehillim, Lamed Beis says, Al zois yispalel kol chosid elecha. What do we daven for? Every chosid, he davens for what? Le'es mitzoi. For in an auspicious time, that a person needs to daven at the right time for the right things. You know, a person can always ask for, you want to be a ben chayrin, you could ask for chayris you could ask on Sukkot, you could ask on Purim, you could ask for things whenever you want. Hashem's always listening. But there are times that are mesugal for certain things. On Pesach, chayris, Emunah, Sukkot, comes here, Torah. This is the time. This is the right time to focus on our ruchnius and how we could grow. We know HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world specifically for the Torah. So you know what we're accomplishing when we're makabel to learn the Torah? The Gemara Masechta Shabbos, Daf Peiches Amud Aleph tells us that Hashem made a Tanai. Hashem made a Tanai with the Maisa Bereshis that the world is only going to continue. It's only going to exist. It's only going to stay around if we're makabel the Torah. That was the Tanai with Maisa Bereshis. So when Shavuos comes around and we're makabel the Torah, we're not just being makabel the Torah for ourselves and making ourselves into better people. And when we become better people, we have an easier time speaking with Kaviyachah, with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're doing what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. But it's not just that. We're making a hischatshus of the Bria. We're renewing the world because Hashem made that condition that the world will only be around as long as we're makabel the Torah, as long as we have the Torah. And every one of us has the capability and the responsibility and the privilege to keep the world going. You know, if you're makabel the Torah right, and this Shabbos, you think about it a little bit, sit down on Friday night, say maybe I waste away a little too much for Friday night, 5 minutes, I'm going to learn a little bit of the parsha. Whatever it is, another thing, pull out a sefer, Shmiras Halasha. You want to learn something very important, Sefer Chavetz Chaim, whatever it is, 5, 10 minutes. I started this many years ago, and it's something which changes your life, it changes you, but it's a small thing. That's what Hashem wants to see. Do something extra. Bring the light of Torah. Show that that's what you care about, and guess what? You're not just doing yourself a favor, you're renewing the world. So this week, Parshas Bamidbar, Torah tells us every person counts. So it's every one of us that counts. Let's do it this year. Let's tap into that light. Everybody should have a good Shabbos and a Chag Sameach, a good Yom Tov, and we come out on the other side of Shavuos as different and better people.